But when we're looking at the components, what do you see, James Robert, as the major components that financial institutions should be looking at right now? What, in a broad sense, what right now should all financial institutions be looking at?
You know, it all comes down to what you're touching around right here, and this is it's all about communication. It's about using digital technologies, digital tools to bring people together to create value. And all of that value creation begins just as it would have in the past. It all starts with communication. It's just the ways and the mediums in which we communicate. That is what is vastly different. And no longer are the old world rules of, to your point about email, one message to many people, relevant anymore. It's about getting the right communication or the right context within the context of the consumer's buying journey.
So when you look at that, James Robert, we talk content marketing and we talk about it real freely. What exactly is content marketing?
There's a lot of confusion in this area, and content is just one element of an entire larger digital growth strategy. But I think it's important that we clear up some of this confusion early and often. And academically, here at the Digital Growth Institute, we define content marketing as well-defined systems and processes to really position the financial brand as a subject matter experts within the communities that they serve, with really three specific goals: to attract the right people, to capture and nurture those relationships, and then ultimately to create value for the financial brand by converting those leads into loans and deposits, but by doing so, not by promoting the same commoditized great rates and amazing services and look like a laundry list of product features. We got to help first, sell second.
Well, it's interesting because especially as we got into the COVID stage, it's not just financial institutions. Every brand is using content pretty effectively. Without Salesforce on the street, without events going on, without the ability to meet a consumer face-to-face in a branch in many cases, organizations had to really pivot, that a word that has become very popular during COVID. But when you look at content in its general sense and in its specific sense, are we talking about just educational content? Are we talking about the ability for a financial institution to use content marketing to, for instance, teach a person how to do remote deposit capture? Or are we talking about content in the really intense phase of looking at financial planning and things like that? Or is it a mixture of both?
The way that we frame this up, and that's a great question, is there's really four types of content that we can think about as a financial brand. There's the empathetic content. And this is something that we would look at higher up in the buying journey when you're just trying to get consumers to know you, to like you in the first place, because there's different psychological levels that this type of content guides people through. People need to trust you at an emotional level. And when we look at empathetic content, it's about leaning in to some of their pain points, but also offering a solution. Then to your point, we have the educational content. And this is where we're looking at a tremendous opportunity in the consideration stage of the buying journey, to where we're nurturing people, we're reinforcing our expertise. And the way that we can look at this is a wide variety of content. Things like, for example, webinars. I know, for example, PNC Bank has been doing a lot of webinars. We've seen American Express do webinars on the small business side. But then also we've got podcasts, we've got video. We can turn all of that into articles. Then we have empowering content. And this, to me, is one of the most effective ways here, because now we're really empowering people to begin to make confident decisions when it comes to selecting a financial brand that they're wanting to work with. And so things like ebooks, buying guides, checklists, quizzes, assessments. But I think the secret to all of this is to use the elevating content, the last one, when we look at these four content archetypes. And this is right at the moment of truth, right when someone is ready to commit to you, to click the apply button, but they just need a little bit more inspiration to push them over the edge. And that's where we can use the stories of people that we have helped before that look just like them, that have gone through the journey that they've been on. But it says, we've done this before, we can do it again, and we can help you get beyond whatever's holding you back and get you to a bigger, better, brighter future.